tanks, then oh well. All right. I have to move my mouse over here. Is this A New Hope?
Yeah, I think so.
Why can't I move it? Okay. That kind of looks like Empire Strike Back. I cannot tell. There's Return of the Jedi. Okay. I think this is A New Hope. Where do you think it goes, Taylor? Give your argument.
That's the fourth one, right?
Yes. It's the most iconic Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I know. It pretty much is. There's nothing really wrong with it off the top of my head.
I think...
There was that one scene, though, where the clone hits his head on top of the roof, and they never edited
that. Yeah, that's going to be a doc against it.
I would put it in the masterpiece category, but because of that, I don't think it really
Yeah, that was just so bad when they did that. I mean, I think the movie overall, I mean, it's not terrible. I mean...
It's a pretty good movie.
I think the filmmaking, despite how, I mean, a lot of people proclaim like it as like a trendsetter or as like a Fireblazer movie, but like if you actually pay attention to the actual cinematography of A New Hope, it's really not that good. Like it's the camera like basically never moves in the entire movie. The shots are all
like the 80s.
Yeah,
1977.
But if you've watched like movies like 2001: A Space Odyssey, which was made 10 years prior, it's like literally like incredibly more in depth and I don't know, just cinematic. That's the right word. So I think like a lot of people out there like to say that the prequels are often like a worse product as far as like their cinematic quality goes, but if you pay attention to the cinematic quality in A New Hope, I don't really think there's that much of a difference.
Also, like The Godfather Part 1 came out in 1972, and yeah, that has literal like car chase scenes in it.
Oh yeah.
And they have moving shots of that. So I mean, yeah.
It's a good movie though.
Yeah, so it's a good movie. I would put.
It's better than okay.
Yeah.
It's better than okay.
I'd watch it again. I have watched it again.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm probably never gonna ever go back and rewatch A New Hope. Well, not
No,
like if I
will.
the only reason I'll rewatch A New Hope is if I'm doing like a Star Wars original trilogy rewatch. I never go and pick A New Hope and be like, oh, I just want to rewatch that movie, just that movie. I'd have to rewatch every other movie just to justify it.
Yeah, but does anyone ever do that with Star Wars?
Well, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, like some other movies, I think are movies that you pick out and watch by themselves.
Yeah, but I don't think they're Star Wars movies.
I'd rewatch the third one, whatever.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's freaking going on. All right, I think we can move that up later if we want.
Fine. I think it's better than good though.
Okay, next up we have Empire Strikes Back. What do you think about Empire? I mean, it's pretty much.
Honestly, I think it's the same as like A New Hope. I think it's
I'll put it in New Hope and great.
Okay.
I'll
See,
move
I can
up
agree.
Empire to Masterpiece.
No.
But there's literally
Why?
think of one bad thing in Empire Strikes Back.
I can't
remember
what's in that movie.
I'll give
seen
you.
it in, like,
Hoth
6
happens.
years.
Luke gets a vision from Obi-Wan. He goes to
Yeah.
Dagobah.
Yeah, and then he fights Darth Vader in his mind. And it's like, ah! And he's a whiny little girl.
And then he kills himself. Yeah, he fights Darth.
Yeah, and,
And
then
then
he kills
he
himself.
is-
And then
Not
Han Solo,
literally.
Leia get tracked by Boba Fett and the Emperor Empire. Taylor, shut up.
Brady's losing viewers.
Yes, that's your fault. You're not being entertaining enough.
Yeah, well,
It's probably
that's
because the chat, like the video's just like not working or something.
When I was watching on data, like it was, there was no blurriness or anything. Like it was, and I heard our voices fine.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't really remember anything super spectacular about A New Hope
I would.
or The Empire
There were some
Strikes
pretty
Back.
cool scenes too. I mean, it was pretty interesting. I really like the scene when the Millennium Falcon flies out of the base.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty cinematic.
Pretty dope.
That's pretty
Isn't
good.
that the one where he's like, "I am your father"?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, this is a pretty
Yeah.
good movie.
I
A
think-
lot happens. Very controversial.
Oh yeah.
If you see reactions to Luke getting, I was watching a reaction video from like 5-year-olds too.
Is that with the two little kids?
Yeah, there's like this. I watched one where this dad is showing his daughter like the movie for the first time. She's like, "What?"
I did watch
Like,
that
wow.
actually.
Man, I guess this was actually crazy back in the day. So there's been pretty interesting plot.
I feel like it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
rate these because
Why?
we didn't see them when they first came out.
Yeah, I've seen
like
these
I didn't
so
have
many times that like nothing like that. I bet back in the day when he found out that Darth Vader was his dad, people were losing it in the theater.
Yeah. I think a lot of the most important moments in Star Wars and a lot of the most remembered moments in Star Wars occur from Empire Strikes Back. The moment where Luke, gets confronted by Vader, Luke and Dagobah talking to Yoda.
Yoda died.
Like the Hoth battle with the rebels shooting at the giant walkers
That
and
was pretty sick.
He kisses his sister.
he kisses his
Yeah.
sister, which appeals to like the Southern Star Wars fans.
Yeah. The Alabama viewers.
Oh, I don't know if it's a masterpiece though.
It
I
is.
felt like it was a little bit slower than the fourth.
Yeah, I don't.
I would
Name
watch.
one thing that's bad about it.
I'm not saying there's anything bad about it. I don't know. I would never be like, I'm gonna go watch The Empire Strikes Back. But
You know, no, I actually agree with it. Because I think the next one, the sixth one, I forget what it's called.
Excellent connection.
That doesn't. That
I don't
should
know
be
that that's a
good. I actually kind of-
masterpiece.
Yeah.
Star Wars. I think it's great. It's a great movie. I can
Okay.
put it in great. I don't know that it's a
Then-
masterpiece.
I'd
Can
say
you
it's
put-
better than A New Hope.
Can you put like A New Hope in like middle tier?
Okay.
In great/good? Like it's in between. Like I'd watch it again, but it's not my favorite movie
Okay.
of the Star Wars.
We have
series.
one viewer, everybody. That's probably me.
Thank you, one viewer.
Thank you, one viewer. Shout out to you.
You give us meaning.
All right, episode 6. Let's get it. I
not
really
like that one.
I really
just
don't.
Kind of makes me mad.
What?
See, I found when I was watching episode 6 for some reason, I was consistently rooting for the Empire just because how much I hated
yeah.
everything that was
What?
going on.
Okay, the teddy bears
Like
are
the
pretty
Ewoks,
bad, right?
why did they have to make the Ewoks?
They're
like, so
bloodthirsty monsters who are
annoying? It was
defending
just-
their
I was
home.
so annoyed with the Ewoks that I wanted the Empire to win.
All right,
That's
there's-
not what you're supposed
There's
to
a
do.
weird tonal inconsistency in the what's this movie called? Return of the Jedi, where it's like the Ewoks are super happy, fun comedy relief, and then we're cutting back to like Luke Skywalker getting his hand
Killed.
cut off and murdered by Darth Vader.
Okay,
And then we're,
okay.
it's like it's weird.
Whatever her name is.
Return of the
nearly
Jedi
dies.
has the coolest scenes as far as lightsaber combat, right? Because it's pretty much non-existent in the
That's
first two movies.
True,
Yeah.
but-
You get to see Boba Fett.
Okay.
You get to see Han Solo and the Carbonite. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I
Him
think
come
so.
out of there all messed up. That was cool. You get to see Darth Vader save the Emperor,
Yeah.
even though I think he was
But
actually
he doesn't
saving.
save the Emperor. He chucks him down a chute.
Yeah, but when Luke's like, "Wah!" and
Oh,
he's gonna
okay.
kill him, I actually think he was saving Luke there more than the Emperor.
Okay.
I saw a theory on that, and I was pretty interested by
Oh, all
that.
right.
And then you get to see the big happy finale where Hayden Christensen shows up out of the blue.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
that's in a
pretty-
different version. Like the original didn't have that.
I don't know. I feel like it was better than both of those movies.
No, the fifth one, whatever it's called, I can't even. I don't know.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back is definitely better than Return of the Jedi.
Fine, put it in good.
All right.
It's better than okay.
Oh, it isn't.
I feel like people are gonna
It's
disagree
not
with
better
this.
than.
I
oh.
personally kind
I
of
would not
Return of
call
the Jedi
I would
is
not
not
call
better
these
than the
movies
new
good.
one.
I'd call them pretty great.
I
But we can compromise on that and put
A
them in
New
good
Hope
for now.
is better than.
okay. I
Return
could
of
see
the
all
Jedi.
three of them
Look,
being.
there's someone
great.
in chat saying stop it. That's how you know that your guys' opinion is wrong.
I think
We
that
don't
the
even know what he's
sixth
saying.
one-
Stop it to. He could have commented that to
I'm
something
pretty
we
sure-
said 30 seconds
I'm pretty
ago.
sure he looked at the imagery of all these movies just being good and then was like,
I
this
think-
is so wrong.
Okay, I personally think they're all better than good, but there needs to be an in between
An in between.
for the 5th one.
Okay, well, we
People
might
don't
put
realize that Masterpiece. He needs to understand too that Masterpiece is like that's pretty hard to get.
that. Yeah, that's like.
I mean, great is like wasn't the standard for great like we'd watch it like over and over again,
Yeah.
and Masterpiece we'd watch it every day.
Yeah, look, I'd watch Empire Strikes Back by itself without watching the first one. That's how I know it's better than.
Yeah.
New
I would
Hope.
never watch Return of the Jedi just by itself.
Yeah, neither would
like
I.
that
I would
one.
never just put in Return of the Jedi and just
No.
watch it.
And
unless I was
this is the
watching
thing
that
too.
trilogy.
With A New Hope, you can do that just because it's the first one of the
You want to know what?
prequels,
After we
so-
get done here, I'm gonna go on Disney Plus and watch Return of the Jedi.
All right. You're gonna agree with me that the final battle is
See,
kind
the
of
fi-
weird.
It's just an older movie.
It's like tonally inconsistent.
The
But I
Empire
re-
Strikes Back is a movie of the prequels I'd watch by itself. A New Hope is the first one, so you just naturally watch that by itself and first. And I would never just put in Return of the Jedi and watch it.
Okay.
I disagree, but whatever. I
Okay.
can live with that.
Yeah, I think.
These are the hardest ones, honestly. The rest are
Because they're the most controversial.
because they're the best. The rest of them. Besides them.
All right. We'll leave that for the way it is now. What movie's next?
A Phantom
A
Menace.
Phantom Menace. Yeah, let's just go with the
That's
next
that
one.
one.
This one,
I would not.
I would-
I
Okay,
hate
you're
that
hovering
movie.
over the two categories.
That
I don't
one's
think
so
it should
bad.
be in.
it's not okay. Dude.
It is.
It's
I
bad.
watched it 2 nights ago. It's a decent.
It's not worth watching. Actually,
It's a little political.
the only.
It's a little
political.
political. Yes, it is.
Stupid.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's worth watching, but I would not watch it again. Move it
Okay.
up at least to bad.
Okay.
No,
For
I
now,
think it
for
should
now,
be an
at least
okay.
put it in
I think
the-
it should be an okay.
It is
Just
not
for
okay.
the fact that Darth Maul tries to run a kid over he doesn't even know.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Also, there was that pretty cool scene with like the pod racing.
Yeah.
So that was neat.
Look, the plot of this movie, straight up, is like totally nonsense. Like, who cares about Naboo? It has no meaning for the rest of the story. The only part of this
that's
movie,
true.
It's where
Is the only
it's
meaningful
where
part is that
the
they
Sith
found
came.
Anakin. That's the only
Anakin
important
getting
thing.
off of Tatooine is the only important part of this movie.
That's true.
Bro.
And Darth Maul. And
And
Obi-Wan.
even because
Bro.
Darth
Yeah.
Maul was important, then they needed a new Sith. That's the only
Look,
reason.
he agrees. He's
Bro.
never going to watch this movie again. And
It's
I
a
agree.
good movie.
I would never watch The Phantom Menace. I
Okay.
haven't watched it in like 10 years.
If
Neither
you
have
skip, if you skip most of it, it's not bad.
Look,
Yeah.
even as a kid, even as like a 5-year-old kid, I could not watch The Phantom Menace. I would just skip to the end. That's how you know a movie is really bad when it can't
I didn't
entertain a
even
kid.
like
Dude, I think you should rewatch it. It's not as bad as you think. Like
No,
there are
it's-
some cool parts, and yes, it's important to know where Chancellor
No, you're not
Palpatine
raising
came
that
from.
high.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. He's the main big bad for 11 movies somehow.
Yeah, well, that,
How
that's
that?
later.
For 11 movies, one guy.
We can put it in bad just to make
Yeah, just to
him
satisfy
happy,
Taylor. But it's not.
I would
okay
not
to
watch that movie again.
Yeah. Okay. Here's like the
Plus, it's the
Conclusive?
only movie you get to see Qui-Gon Jinn.
the conclusive
That's true.
ending for this movie. Like, it has a 4-way ending battle for those who don't remember. It has Jar Jar battle, it has Darth Maul battle, it has Anakin battle, and it has Padme battle. 3 out of the 4 battles suck. So the entire time you're just like wishing for the Darth Maul battle to come back on.
Honestly,
It's just
though,
totally-
I could
it's-
actually
it's a-
see it being in bad just because of Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
and he
most
was one of the
annoying
most annoying
characters in
character.
Star Wars.
Besides when that Asian lady came along.
Yeah.
I don't
Rose.
even Rose, yeah.
Rose, yeah, she was.
She's the second place.
We'll
Jar Jar
cross
Binks
that
is
bridge
still
when we
the
get to
annoying,
it.
most
Okay.
obnoxious character.
Attack of the
Episode
Clones.
That's better than
Better
the
than Phantom Menace.
It was cool. It had cool scenes.
It's okay.
Just because it had better scenes, I think.
I
The
can't
battles were
tell
cooler.
if
That's the only reason.
I can't tell if Anakin's or Christian Haydenson is just trying to play Anakin like an adolescent teenager, like who's immature and annoying and kind of like weird,
I think
or if it's just not good.
Christian Haydenson is a good actor. They just had terrible lines. That wasn't his fault. I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
George Lucas knows how to write a love story.
Half this movie,
That's the
the reason
problem.
this movie is better than The Phantom Menace is because at least Attack of the Clones, at least like half of it is with Obi-Wan. And
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's story is
Yeah.
actually okay. He goes to goes to fight Jango Fett. Jango Fett is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a
Their
cool
battle's
character.
epic. They fight on Camino. They like They're like jumping in the air, kicking each other, and then they like fight in space and they drop the bombs on each other.
There's just in this one I feel like there's like a bunch of like really memorable scenes.
Yeah,
that
like
are just,
there's memorable
really
stuff
nice.
in this movie, whereas in the Phantom Menace, it's
I don't
like
really remember.
feel
Besides
like
pod racing.
yeah.
I
that's
feel like
all
the Phantom
remember.
Menace kind of has a lot of like dull scenery in
Yeah.
it too. That's not as like attractive. Like
Mm.
at least on Attack of the Clones, you get Naboo, which is all green and beautiful. And
Oh,
I will
Just-
say
I don't
that
know.
this was one of the worst love stories in
Yeah, it's
of
like
all
the
Star Wars
Anakin-
history.
The Anakin Padme storyline is
It's
like
pretty
so
bad.
cringy. It's
Yeah.
so like unbearable. It's creepy how weird Anakin is in this movie.
Yeah.
yeah, see, that's why I'm kind of
Yeah.
confused on whether I'm supposed to like that or just be kind of weirded out by it.
Yeah, I remember like every scene of this movie just kind of feeling bland and just I don't know.
Remember when Anakin admitting to killing a whole village of Tusken Raiders, and then Padme's like, "Wow,
Yeah,
I cannot wait to marry this
I
guy."
know, it's kind of sus.
Yeah, Padme's a little sus too.
Yeah. Anything else about this movie?
The
Just,
Dooku fight was pretty cool though.
Yeah.
I don't really like the Yoda fight in this movie. I think it's just kind of stupid.
His
Like,
little
Yoda- it's-
Jedi yell.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
just like
"Rah!"
he just chucks like a rock at Count Dooku and he blocks it, or yeah, Count Dooku just like chucks a big rock at Yoda and Yoda just like moves it. It's like okay, who cares? Like that's so lame. Yeah, the best part of this movie is just Jango Fett and Obi-Wan. Everything else is just kind of lame.
Yeah, I mean, there's cool battles. That's about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like the endless scene with all the clones. Like we have like what 2 million
Yeah.
or another million
Another
ready.
2 million on the
200
way.
million on the way. Lots of memes. All right, Revenge of the Sith.
That's a masterpiece.
That's
Without a doubt, you don't even. That's a masterpiece.
maybe not a masterpiece, but that's my favorite. It's still
Okay, we
my
gotta
favorite
put
one.
something in the masterpiece. And the next movie's coming up.
Yeah, there's not gonna be
there's
any.
not a lot of options.
I would rewatch the third one
Yeah, this is
over
is-
any of the other movies.
out of all of these movies. It might not be the best one here, but like out of all these movies, it's the one I would actually rewatch
Yeah.
for some reason.
Well, that's because the lightsaber battles
Scene
were
are-
actually awesome.
I think they had the best of every, which is, I mean, foreshadowing for Disney. But
Yeah.
like the lightsaber battles were actually really great choreography and like
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah.
Even if it was over the top and like there's a scene of Obi-Wan and Anakin just spinning their lightsabers for 5 seconds
Yeah.
without hitting each other for no reason. But it was still really cool.
I like that you got to see the Palpatine versus Yoda. It was a cool setting, and the
And it was actually kind of sad when Christian Haydenson, was burning alive.
Look, all the action
Anakin was
scenes in
burning
this
alive.
movie are awesome.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan versus Grievous, awesome. Obi-Wan versus Anakin, awesome. Oh, Count Dooku versus Anakin, awesome. Baby Yoda versus Palpatine, awesome. What else happens?
The scene where they march into the Jedi Temple.
Oh, and the like
that
the,
was one of the best
yeah.
scenes ever.
Dun, dun,
With the
dun,
501st,
dun, 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 dun,
whatever.
dun, 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 dun.
I
What
also
else he say?
I
He
like
said
that you
10
got
out
to
of 10.
see.
Exactly.
He knows what's up.
I like that you got to see more of like Anakin and Obi-Wan's friendship a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Like in the Attack of the Clones, it seemed like Obi-Wan felt Anakin was just a burden. Like
Yeah.
you didn't really see any of their camaraderie. So
Uh-huh.
it was kind of cool in this movie. I would have liked to see it more, but
Yeah. I think like the only weakness in this movie, well, there's two. Anakin's turn to the dark side is way too fast. There should have been more build up to that. And secondly, Anakin being denied the rank of master and that whole sequence is like really boring and doesn't
Kinda
really do
weird.
anything to the movie really.
It's supposed to isn't that supposed to
Yeah.
work into his frustration?
Yeah, they
Like-
should have played it more like Anakin's literally just being cheated. I mean, like Anakin's putting his life on the line day after day in the Clone Wars, and the Jedi just like don't recognize it. They should have played up that angle, but instead it just makes Anakin come across as whiny, and I don't
Yeah.
really like that. They should have also played up the fact that the Jedi were partially responsible for Anakin's mom dying, like he wasn't able to see them. And if they had played that up a bit more and like made Anakin like feel justifiably like vengeful about that, I think they could have like set up the fact that he has a bone to pick with the Jedi. You know.
yeah.
I mean they did. Oh well, wasn't the angle they're going for like he could save Padme?
Yeah, that
Or what?
I actually like the Padme stuff.
I think that was decent, but it wasn't the best. But I think it was because they also didn't really like make it.
Yeah.
They only showed a couple scenes where he saw Padme dying, and then he was like, that's what I agree. It was too quick because he sees Padme dying, and then within like 3 scenes, he's ready to
ready to
go
kill.
to the dark side to save her.
Yeah, it's like he gets results in Mace Windu getting chucked out the window. We don't know if Mace Windu's dead or not.
Okay, honestly though, I'm glad Mace Windu got chucked out of a window.
Why?
Because his acting in that movie, I
Yeah,
just
it's
wasn't
bad.
super happy with.
That's why people, when they say like Hayden Christensen is a bad actor, they have to like look at Samuel L. Jackson. It's like Samuel L. Jackson is a very energetic and like extremely fun actor, and he's so bland in this movie, like incredibly boring.
Yeah.
I think people don't give Anakin's portrayal enough credit. I think it was actually pretty good.
I would agree. In this movie, it's a lot better than in the Clone Wars.
Yeah. And
Yeah. Overall, like if this movie was right here, just considering the soundtrack alone, it goes up. I think this has the best soundtrack in any Star Wars movie by like. We're gonna talk about these dumpster fires in a bit, but
geez.
none of these movies have a soundtrack that even comes close to this.
These dumpster.
Yeah, these movies are.
They're not.
Well,
There's some in there.
let's get to it.
Well, wait.
what one is that?
What are we going
I think
for?
I don't even
this
know what one
this is
that
the
is.
Force Awakens. This is the Force Awakens.
That one wasn't as bad as the next two. To
I
follow.
would put that in good. I would honestly put The Force Awakens as a good movie overall.
Is this the one where whatever?
This is the first of the
Oh.
sequel trilogy. Rey's on the planet, the desert planet. Finn
Finn.
gets
Yeah,
shot
Finn.
down or whatever.
Post.
He leaves the Order.
That was
Kylo Ren shows up and stops a bullet with the Force.
Dude,
That
Kylo
was
Ren
pretty- that
had
was
the
interesting.
potential to be like the coolest character in Star Wars.
Finn had the potential to be a really cool character
Yeah.
too.
That's why I say like this movie,
They had the
the
potential.
setup for everything is really good. I think Rey being on the desert planet Jakku and just vibing is probably just vibing is literally the best 30 minutes of the entire Star Wars sequel trilogy. It's that good. It's the only time where the sequel trilogy doesn't, because it's all original content, whereas the rest of the sequel trilogy is just like reusing old original trilogy content. When this movie is all just new stuff, it's pretty good. Finn leaving, good. Rey, good. Kylo Ren stopping bullets, good. It's at the halfway mark when they start reusing the A New Hope storyline that it starts to feel cliche.
Yeah.
I'll give it credit too for amazing cinematography.
Yeah.
It's just, like it's a beautiful movie. If you just forget about the plot.
Yeah.
So, that's what Disney does have going for them. All the movies were actually pretty incredible to look at. But that's
You know, the fight scene
Yeah.
It wasn't-
Which one?
at the end
Okay.
when he fights Finn and then Rey.
yeah. That
It
was
wasn't
kinda
that
weird.
bad
Finn-
considering he just got shot in the stomach by Chewie. He
Yeah.
didn't do that bad. If the fight scenes in the next movies would have gotten better, I think I could have enjoyed this movie more.
I think that's like the only time like any Star Wars movie like really sets up that a Force user can take bullets. Because like they made a big deal out of that crossbow being able to launch people and disintegrate them
Yeah.
throughout the entire movie, and like Kylo Ren takes it to the stomach and doesn't move. So like they set him up as being super powerful, and then he gets beat up.
Yeah.
The best fight of the movie, in my opinion, is when the stormtrooper like walks up and he whips out the stick and he's like traitor, and then like him and Finn fight each other. He says he would put it in okay, but I can see it good for some people.
Yeah.
I think this movie, like, I think you could make an argument for it being just okay because it's the movie that introduces all of the reused plot elements. And that's the biggest critique of the sequel trilogy, is that it reuses all of the same plot elements from the originals.
Finn was kind of just an interesting character.
He started off as so good.
Yeah, and then he jumped so quickly to, oh, look, my former comrades, and just, I'm going to kill all
and then he
these
just
people.
slaughters
Literally, he's, like, in the same boat that they were in, but he never, like, they don't develop him. They put so much time into him for not to develop him as a character
know.
very much.
They
I
sh-
feel like, but for how much potential it had, it needs to belong in good, just from how much potential that
Yeah.
they were setting up with it.
Yeah, for the
They just
potential,
didn't.
I would put it in good. I definitely think they should have done like the. Well, actually, that's not really a fault of this movie. That's a fault of The Last Jedi, which we can talk about right now. What do you guys think?
Is
This
this
the
the
most
last
controversial
one?
Star
Oh, no,
Wars
no,
movie
no.
of all time.
Put it
This
in
one
not
was-
worth
Wait, we
watching.
can't talk about this. We have to talk about Rogue One first.
That was actually a good.
That was a
movie.
very good movie.
I
Rogue
really
One is
enjoyed
a
that.
stellar movie. I would put that above A New Hope.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would.
I could see it being great just because you can watch it by yourself. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
need any other precursor, really.
Well,
like,
here's the thing too. Like, this is kind of what we were talking about earlier. Most of
Yeah.
this movie was original content,
Mhm.
and like, I didn't dislike really any of it.
Yeah.
There was no, and it had one of the like best ending scenes. Everyone loved the ending of
Yeah.
the movie.
yeah.
Look, the entire
Uh,
ending battle is probably the best like military battle in all of Star Wars. Pretty
Because
Yeah.
it
like
was
think
kind of
about
like
it.
unseen before.
Yeah, it's like the rebels. There's like 5 different battle lines. They got to like infiltrate the data. They gotta like break through the shields. They gotta like in the space on the beach part. And it's like there's 5 different moving fronts, and they're all doing their part to win, and they all just barely pull through at the end, and it's
And
like
then they
epic.
all die.
And then they all die, and it's very tragic, and it's like, duh.
And then we see Darth Vader, and all the fans were like,
That was a pretty cool scene.
All the fans were very excited.
I thought it was great.
The
Because I
only-
remember we watched the previous Christmas, because these all came on Christmas, right?
Yeah.
We watched whatever episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even know what it's called.
Force Awakens.
I don't care about it. And then we watched Rogue One the next Christmas, I think, right? That came
Yeah,
out after
something
that.
like
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. After watching the last one, this one was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really like this movie.
The only thing I can see wrong with it is they put Darth Vader as so force heavy in the hallway. He's like taking people's guns, throwing them around,
Yeah.
but he just doesn't grab the plans.
Oh
with the
yeah, he
Force.
just like.
That was
right.
the only thing that when I saw it, I was like, darn, bro, you probably could have just done that.
Yeah,
But it
I
still
feel like
looks
there's a
so-
lot of moments where you're like, wait, can he just like
Yeah.
in the battle just like kind of Anakin just choked Obi-Wan to death?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of those moments
Mhm.
where the Force is just like.
Hmm.
I think great movie.
Yeah, I mean, those flaws are pretty much everywhere in the
Yeah.
movies. Like in the second one, where Windu just didn't stab Count Dooku in the
Right.
back and ended it. Whatever.
I think like the first time I watched this movie, I actually got like really, I don't know, confused at what was going
Really?
on the first time because like all the characters just kind of look the same. They all have the same
Huh.
design, and I really but the second time I watched it, I kind of got it a lot better. The only bad part of this movie, in my opinion, is like there's like a really cringy speech that she gives right before like the battle, and it's like it's so cliche.
Mhm.
But aside from that, I'd say like Rogue One is actually like one of the best Disney Star Wars movies.
I think
I
it's
think
their
so.
best one.
I'd put it under Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. It also has like, I don't know. It's nice because there's a very strong female lead that you can believe. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's
It's
surprising.
not very forced at all. Nothing in the movie
Yeah.
seems too forced.
Yeah.
Like the cliche. There were some like moments like the speech, but the rest of that like it doesn't
Mhm.
seem forced at all.
I
Like
think
they're trying too hard, like
I
they
know
were with like Rose.
Mhm. It's weird because a lot of people online constantly hate this movie, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, I didn't even know people.
I don't even
disliked
see the
it.
hate that much.
I didn't know
like-
people disliked it.
I know like a
I
lot
know
of
Ross
popular
Arena stuff.
YouTubers hate this one for some reason, but
I don't
That's
know.
weird.
It's probably because they don't like Disney, and then Disney tried to fill in what they think happened and created their own story, and they just
Mhm.
hate Disney, so they were riding on.
all right, here we go.
It's not worth watching. Well, I actually put it in bad so we can put the next one in not worth watching.
Yeah, we gotta say.
Or just put-
one. Could have a one masterpiece.
I'm
and
gonna
one
be
not
honest.
one.
I think it's really not that bad. I
Really?
would put it in okay.
The last. This
Think.
is the one where Luke
That
throws away the
one's-
lightsaber,
Yes.
right?
That was
Dude,
so
it's
stupid.
not. Yeah, I don't think this
And
one's
then-
even an okay.
Look, I would rather watch The Last Jedi over Attack of the Clones.
I would not. Absolutely
I don't
not.
know
Really?
Either.
Attack of the
No.
Clones to me is just so
But
boring.
there's something that's so like, there's something so like wrong with the way
Yeah.
that they portrayed Luke that you can't just justify it. It's
I like-
just so wrong. It's just even what his name?
Ugh,
what's the
Kylo
actor?
Ren.
No, what's the actor for Luke?
Mark
Hamill.
Mark Hamill. Even he thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
He wasn't even mad with how he was being portrayed. He said it openly, and they got upset with him for how open he was with how he didn't like his character.
There's just so many things to critique about the movie. It can't even.
Look, I think a lot of the
it has to
creative,
be in bad.
A lot
I would
of-
say it's better than episode 1, but it has to be in bad.
a lot of the creative decisions in The Last
know.
Jedi were straight up doo-doo. Like, disagreeable, almost offensive. But, like, overall, I think, like, the movie's still, like, competently pretty well made. We got one guy watching.
Man, I don't know. I
I just remember leaving that movie upset, angry.
Yeah.
I would put it in bad, but I would say it's better than episode 1.
I think episode 1 is, like, so worse that I would never watch episode 1. Like, literally never. But I would,
I would only watch this to make fun of it. And
I've
critique
watched
it
The
again.
Last Jedi. I've watched The Last Jedi since it came out in movie theaters, and that's more than I can say for this bad boy down there.
I've literally watched episode 1 like 3 times in the past couple of years. I don't think it's that horrible.
Taylor, well.
I've watched The Last Jedi twice. Once because we went to see it in theaters, and a second time
Yeah.
to rewatch it because I couldn't remember what happened in it.
I think
I just watched it.
And that was more than
I
enough.
think the thing that separates like The Last Jedi from The Phantom Menace for me is just the fact that The Last Jedi has like an actual theme. It has a message. It has like multiple story arcs that tie in together, even if some of them really aren't that great.
It's just so unbelievable.
Yeah, it just doesn't
It was
really
just a
follow the
crime. It
rules
was a
of the Star Wars.
crime how they
It doesn't follow
portrayed
the
it.
rules of the Star Wars universe, and it doesn't really bring in any of the extra elements of the Star Wars
Yeah,
universe.
but I think
so.
they just destroyed
Yoda's
it.
suddenly like
Luke.
making lightning
Yeah.
come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yoda literally uses a dark force
Like-
technique. Like, what was
And
that?
he's a ghost, so it's questionable.
He's on the dark
It's
side
more
now?
than questionable. It's stupid.
Luke hates he's pissed because someone died. Like, bruh,
You want to know what? I could even see Luke for like a second, like thinking about killing Kylo Ren. Like he's
Yeah.
been through Darth Vader, like he's
Yeah.
fought him. He's seen all this evil. I can see him momentarily being like, maybe I should just kill this kid right now, and then being like, oh wait, he's my nephew. I probably shouldn't do that. But I could never see him like openly just like disconnecting himself from the Force and going.
yeah.
That's just
For me, like
too
it's
far.
for me, like a lot of this movie can be debated, but like the Luke Skywalker stuff is the worst part. It's like you can't
Yeah.
justify it, and the fact that Luke Skywalker's portrayal in this movie ruins everything else that Disney can ever make. Because like in The Mandalorian, frick, that's spoilers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I say spoilers for The Mandalorian? It's been
Well,
like
it
a
already
long-
came
Mandalorian's
out.
been over like.
I know
4
it's been a while,
weeks.
guys. If you haven't seen The Mandalorian yet, I don't know what to say.
That's
don't
kind of
Luke
on you.
Skywalker shows up at the end. Yeah, spoil. There was a lot of spoilers for that. Anyway, you see Luke Skywalker and you're like, yay! And then you see him with Grogu and you're like, wait a second. Luke Skywalker dies! Luke Skywalker's students die. They can't tell a good story anymore.
Yeah, but there's so much time in between when Luke Skywalker takes Grogu and when Kylo Ren goes
Yeah.
berserk.
Obviously, Grogu probably gets out of there. You saw the
Yeah.
meme I sent you earlier today where it was like...
Was it on Instagram?
Yeah, it was like Kylo Ren sees Baby Yoda and he's like, "Don't go to school today, Baby
Oh.
Yoda. I like you, Baby Yoda.
Oh, yeah, I
you
did
were
see
always
that.
nice to me."
There's a lot of memes that came through all that.
So anyway, I think Twitter will tell you that The Last Jedi is like a masterpiece because it tried something different. I don't think that's very much so the case. YouTube will try and tell you
Tried
that-
something bad.
YouTube will try and tell you that this movie's the worst thing to ever exist. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just okay. It's okay with bad decisions, but overall,
I could watch every
It's a
single movie
very
again
okay
except
experience.
for this one.
Like, after you've sat with it for a while, The Last Jedi is just an okay experience. Like, if you just, like, don't find it that offensive, like, what is there to really enjoy about this movie?
Also,
Yeah.
like Star Wars fans, or I mean, not Star Wars fans, just people who watch all the Star Wars movies just because they like
Yeah.
the Star Wars, liked it. Like
Yeah.
Jack, like my friend, he doesn't care about all the lore and everything,
Right.
and he watched it and he thought, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like, if you're just casual to Star Wars, you'll like The Last Jedi. This guy says it's better than the Rise of Skywalker, and I think everyone in existence is probably gonna agree on that.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta tackle Solo first before the Rise of Skywalker.
I also thought that was an okay movie.
It's honestly, it's an okay movie.
I would put it before
Can I?
The Last Jedi. and-
Move over there. Okay.
I watched it, rewatched it for 20 minutes, and then I turned it off because
Alright.
it was so hard to watch. It's one of the ugliest movies Disney's ever
Yeah.
made.
Big truth right there. Solo, a Star Wars story, is definitively the ugliest Star Wars movie ever made. It has like the color palette of a turd. It's just
It's hard to watch.
like even the
Yeah.
beginning, like Han Solo in that like underground area. It's like pitch black.
That's why I
Yeah.
watched it for like
Why is it
15
like
minutes,
that?
and then I was like, I can't watch this. Everything's blue and dark. Why is everything blue? I just don't. The They're trying to make it look like a dystopia, and it's just too
It's
much.
dumb.
It's just ugly.
Aside from how ugly the movie is, I think the movie's
Yeah,
actually
so-
okay. It's like a pretty fun movie.
It's
Yeah.
fun, but
I think they
it's
brought Darth
ugly.
Maul in the end just to make people
Oh.
go watch the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I watched it for the first time in Afghanistan with horrible audio and graphics, and Darth Maul showed up in the end, and I was like, wait, when did this take place?
Yeah.
That was so confusing.
When Taylor and I first watched the movie, he said that the movie must have taken place before episode 1. And I was like, Taylor, there's stormtroopers in it.
I was so
He's
confused. I was like, how old is Han Solo?
Yeah. It's kind of just an okay movie. I think it's kind of a shame that it came out after The Last Jedi because a lot of people really were sick of Star Wars at that point
Yeah.
and just didn't
Yeah.
see the movie. But I don't know.
Wait,
it's not like a giant shame.
In the
because movie's not
Last
that great.
Jedi, is that the one where?
Luke sucked off that thing's nipple.
Not that. No, that was weird too. Is that the one where what? Why can't I think of her name?
Ray.
Ray,
Rose.
No, freaking
Holdo? Frick, there's so many.
Her?
Han Solo's wife.
Leia.
Leia, Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Doesn't Princess Leia use the Force to come back into the ship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
That
a
was
little-
terrible. I can't believe I just remembered that. That was so stupid. She used the Force to come back to the ship. That
Fine.
was so dumb.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Or was that in the last one? I don't remember. I feel like a lot of bad. I
Wait,
feel like
that
was
wasn't
in
the last one. No, it wasn't. Was it?
What?
What did
When Leia
Princess
used
Leia
the
do the
Force?
Force in the last?
No,
one?
she does that in the Last Jedi. Remember the ship blows up in the Last Jedi.
Maybe I should watch this movie again.
Can't
We
remember
did watch it, and it wasn't
what
that bad of an experience. I was kind of yelling at the TV whenever Holdo was on screen doing something dumb like, "Yo, Holdo, what's the plot? What
Was
do we
that
do?"
the purple-haired lady?
Yeah, they ask her like, "Yo, what do we do to survive?" And she's like,
That was.
"I'm not gonna tell you."
That
and then
was
they're like,
so unbelievable.
Why? Why aren't you telling anyone?
"It's so dumb."
Also, like, what?
She
yeah,
tried to
no,
throw
also,
Homie in the brig.
His name's Poe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Poe.
Poe.
Yeah, I don't. Why were Poe and like Finn mad at each other
Uh,
for no reason?
Dude, that was the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
I think. Yes.
let's just put it in the Rise of Skywalker.
All right. The Rise of Skywalker.
Last Jedi's
No,
got
no,
going against it.
That was so bad.
The Rise of Skywalker is definitively the absolute worst Star Wars movie ever made. Just there's like it's
So
not just
much.
that it's a bad movie. It's that it's offensively bad.
Chewie!
There's like all of the creative ideas are horrible and completely make the original trilogy null.
Yeah, literally.
Like
I
Palpat-
left that movie
yeah.
having, from the very beginning, you start out with Finn and Poe hating each other for no reason. You have no idea why. And then
Yeah.
you end the movie and you have like no idea what just happened. The entire movie, you're just lost and confused.
Palpatine coming back completely ruins the
Luke,
significance of
Anakin.
Luke and Anakin.
Especially
There's no
without
point for them
any
to
hints
exist.
in
Yeah.
like the previous two movies.
Mm-hmm.
You hear you have a trailer with Palpatine's laugh, and you're like, seriously,
Yeah, right.
this is happening?
That's my gripe is always, wasn't Anakin... I always thought Anakin was because they said he was going to be like bring balance to the Force.
Yeah.
I thought the whole
Chosen
point
one.
was because in the end he actually did kill Palpatine, and so he brought balance to the Force. But then
No.
he didn't actually kill Palpatine, so
it's-
he didn't do anything.
This
He was just a bad guy. It doesn't justify Anakin because he didn't
Yeah.
really save anyone because he survived the entire time.
Yeah, it completely makes the entire struggle of the original trilogy completely
Irrelevant.
meaningless, irrelevant.
Said burn it with fire.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So bad.
I told one of my friends not to watch this movie because it's not worth his money, and he still hasn't to this day.
Which is a good decision.
Very good.
I don't think I'll ever go back and watch this movie again.
I
Just
only
straight up.
rewatched videos of people saying how bad it is. That's the only thing I
Yeah.
do with that.
Just like what else? Like the entire subplot with Rey is so beyond meaningless. It's like, why do we have to introduce Rey being not like? Is Rey a Palpatine? Is Rey really a nobody? What's Rey's parents' backstory? It's like literally no one
Wait,
cares.
It's the
Should have
funny
just
thing
made her a
is, I
Kenobi.
Yeah.
still don't know. I still don't know what her backstory
Her
is.
backstory was established in The Last Jedi as being she came from parents that weren't significant, nobodies really, and that she just was like chosen by the Force, like just like because.
Which is
Which
whatever.
happens.
Yeah, Anakin.
She
No
doesn't need to be
dad,
related to
really.
anybody
I
important.
think Plagueis made Anakin, didn't he?
Who cares?
That's a whole different discussion.
Let's like expanded universe nonsense.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
But yeah, they introduced this whole separate plot line. It doesn't really do anything. It's like they should have just stuck with it.
Honestly,
Kylo should have just
the whole
died.
series kind of
I
ended in
hated
the last
him.
Kylo-
Jedi.
Kylo and Rey kissing at the
That
end
was
is like that's
disgusting.
the first time I've ever like sat in a movie theater and felt embarrassment for everyone else watching it.
They were all sweaty and gross.
I know.
And also, like, why?
Oh, you could like just transfer your
why
life into
this-
people and then you would die.
Why is Palpatine always getting electrified?
Yeah, Palpatine.
Does he not
zaps
learn?
himself. He zaps Rey, but then she holds up 2 lightsabers and it destroys him somehow.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
that's kind of dumb crap.
so much build up for nothing.
Yeah.
Ugh, and then all this.
Oh my gosh, the final
the
battle.
millions of ships that don't work.
Literally-
None of them
okay,
work.
so
that's the
let's-
whole, that's how they win. The
Let-
ships are ineffective.
Let's analyze the battle strategy of the final battle. So let's see, 5 to 100 starfighters show up, and there's like literally 10,000 star destroyers in the air.
Which can all destroy
Oh my gosh, how are they ever
Which-
gonna beat
yeah,
these
which
star
can all
destroyers?
destroy
What are we
planets.
gonna do? What's the attack strategy? We just blow them up. Why? Because the star destroyers literally cannot navigate on their own for some reason, regardless of the fact that they have their own crew. Secondly, their shield can't be up because they're inside a planet
Which
in the atmosphere,
I-
which has never been a thing.
Which Coruscant, 100%, they were in Coruscant's atmosphere and
Yeah.
the shields were on. They literally, in the third movie, established that you can do that.
Like just like the
Or
stupidest.
the episode 3.
Like all the horses that were on the side, like he could have just like turned. He could have just turned the Star Destroyer and they would have just fell
Well, they
off.
couldn't have
Also,
navigated
how
that.
did
do that?
Dude, how did Palpatine shoot all that lightning up there? Like, that was honestly kind of cool to see how powerful he was with the lightning.
And then
But then he can't do it to
dies.
Ray.
Yeah, and then he died.
Oh, yeah,
like
for real.
30 seconds later.
I'm nerfed.
And that, like
just
they
back
don't
that.
even try to explain where Palpatine came from.
That
They
was
don't
the
even
most
try.
confusing.
They're
Yeah,
just
they
like,
do.
No, they say somehow he returned.
They go, what does he say?
Cloning.
I haven't seen dark cloning, secrets only the Sith knew, and then offended every Camino person ever.
Oh yeah.
Also, it was pretty hard to for I don't know, and also like the whole like layer he had, whatever it's called, was kind of ugly. It could have been cool. There was all the Sith voices, but
Yeah.
then, like I don't know, it was just really dark.
Also,
And lightning.
when Palpatine's like,
gross.
I've been every voice inside your head, and then Snoke says that he's the one that bridged their minds, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yet they can still grab objects near each other.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
That
how's
was just
that?
weird.
They're
Nothing
the,
really
they're the
made
triad, the
sense.
dyad and the Force. This is just a
that
thing
just
they
made
say.
it complicated.
They never
Confusing.
explain what a dyad even means or what it is. It's just it's
Or
there.
why they are a diet.
Yeah, or why. It's just like random made up elements at the last second that don't make any sense.
And then how long it took one of the Knights of Ren to try and whack Kylo
Yeah,
with this, like,
the battle choreography is also awful.
Yeah, It's really weird. You'd think with such a new movie they could have some awesome choreography and stuff, but
Yeah.
instead it's like
Yeah,
just
what happened
garbage.
was Colin Trevorrow, the director of Jurassic World. Say what you will about those movies, they're pretty bad. In my
They were
opinion.
fun to watch
They're
back in
fun,
the
but
day.
like he wrote a script for a movie about basically it was Star Wars Nazi Coruscant. Basically, that was the movie. It was like the First Order controlled Coruscant. It was gonna be the Resistance underground in the city, taking over sections and like doing a revolt and taking over the heart of the galaxy.
Sounds better than this.
And that was basically just gonna be like a big battle for Coruscant. That movie looked like there you can find artwork and the development sort of pieces for that. It looks 10,000 times better than what we actually got at the end. Kylo Ren would have stayed the villain. Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
Kylo Ren.
Luke
literally-
Skywalker can hold a lightsaber.
Yeah, dude.
Why didn't they just have him fight the Emperor? Like,
They should have done like the Lord of the Rings and had like all the past Jedi show up and be like, you owe us a debt, and then all the ghost Jedi dun, 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 charge at the clones and kill them. But,
Yeah, that was
such a
that was
look at that! It makes a perfect pyramid. Well, kind of.
kind of.
If we were to add in the Mandalorian, where would you think that would go?
That would also probably be
pretty great.
a
I
masterpiece.
would put the Mandalorian in the masterpiece.
I would put it over Revenge of the Sith, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I would too. I would watch the Mandalorian again. What about the Clone Wars?
Those were great.
Jeez, those are so good too. Wait, which ones? The old ones or?
Like the clone, like the Siege of Mandalore with Darth Maul.
Okay, here's what should have happened. Rebels, erase it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I
I
would-
actually like Rebels.
I would
to a
put
degree.
Rebels in between bad and okay.
Have you watched all of it?
No.
Okay, you can't.
I
You can't vote.
Oh,
That's
why
not allowed.
Yeah.
Because you have to watch all of it.
Okay.
I don't know that I've actually watched all of it. I would not have killed. This is how it should have gone. I would not have killed Darth Maul in Rebels.
Yeah.
And then, because they already brought him back in Solo, so now people who don't watch the animated shows,
Yeah.
they realize he's still alive. And then just make him the big bad of the sequels.
They should have just
Like, or
they're
something
making an
like that.
Obi-Wan show. They should have made Darth Maul the villain in that. But they wasted it in Rebels. Rebels looks ugly. The characters
The
models are
lightsabers
trash.
are too thin.
The lightsabers are ugly. The whole show's ugly. The writing's bad. It would probably be somewhere in
Ezra's like a fake Luke. It's
Ezra's just like a weird kid with purple hair. I don't like it. Is there anything that can go up or down? I think this is just pretty definitive. There's really nothing to complain about here. I mean, maybe some people, some purists might see Revenge of the Sith and be like, no, it's not better than the original trilogy.
well, dude.
Yeah.
There's people though that legitimately
I don't
like the
feel that.
sequels like
Yeah.
a lot. So-
Again, best sequel, The Force Awakens. I still don't even think that movie's that great, but we'll put it up there to be generous. Last Jedi, I don't know. I wouldn't put it that low, but
I don't.
There was just a lot
I
of
might-
really cringy scenes.
Yeah, it's
that I just
cringy, it's
really did
bad-
not-
bad
there's
writing.
A lot of cringe.
I don't
stuff.
even know if I'd. If anything. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like Solo that much. Like that's one movie I will probably never watch again.
yeah, to be honest, I will never watch Solo again.
Yeah.
just straight up.
I
I
tried,
will never watch
and I
that.
didn't like it. I put it in Spanish just to
Yeah.
see what it did. I did not enjoy
Like
it.
the whole thing with his. I don't know. It was just kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like
For sure.
I don't know.
Altogether, I think this is about as I doubt I'll ever change my mind on this. Like, come on, can you see yourself ever thinking in 5 years oh no, The Force Awakens was actually great the whole time? I don't think so. It's pretty cemented at this point.
Yeah.
It's been a year since the last Star Wars movie. I think we can all say this is how it is at this point.
Have you ever seen the New Hope's reimaged fight scene between?
Yes.
Obi-
Yes, I
so
have.
good. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, it's good. This guy says great tier list altogether. Thank you.
Yeah.
It is a pretty good tier list. I'm pretty sure if I was by myself, I would have put Attack of the Clones a lot lower and raised The Last Jedi up, maybe, and that's about it.
I don't think anything else really.
Yeah, there's something sus about putting Rogue One above maybe 2 of the originals, but I don't know. I think it's okay. I think Rogue One's a good movie.
I feel like the 2 originals could maybe be put in great too.
Yeah, that's what, I
Like,
couldn't.
if
I couldn't
anything,
move.
That's
like,
probably what I.
What's
would
really
do.
wrong with A New Hope? And I don't know.
There's nothing really.
Their flaws are not that bad. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they can move up. Like maybe I would. Like the ending of Return of the Jedi with Luke versus Vader is so good that it almost makes it great. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like that is pretty good stuff. I don't know. But it's like that's an insignificant jump to me.
Do you think that the new shows will make the sequels non-canon?
Honestly, we can end the tier list video by discussing kind of what the future of Star Wars is. I think they're going for a soft reboot. They're never going to decanonize the sequel trilogy. Too many people watch them. Too many people are casual Star Wars fans to ever be able to understand that oh, Disney is making these movies they made canon and not these, right? That's just too complicated for the average viewer. So they will never do that. But what they're going to do is all of their new shows are going to take place, or most of them, in the sequel era, before the sequel trilogy and after Return of the Jedi. So they're going to tell a sequel universe overall story with multiple shows that will soft reboot the sequel trilogy and take the place of the sequel story. And they're going to do what should have been done in these new shows. They're going to make Luke Skywalker. They're going to introduce a bunch of new Jedi. They're going to, basically what everyone thought in this new era.
And they have so much material to work with.
Yeah, they do. And Thrawn's going to be the big bad. Okay, so Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka show. It's all going to be leading to the battle against Thrawn. And he's going to be the bad guy. Because, if for those who don't know, in the books, Thrawn was, the big bad guy after Return of the Jedi. He was, the Emperor level bad guy. So he's going to be that again. So, yeah.
I wonder what direction they'll take Obi-Wan with.
I don't know. My theory with Obi-Wan is they're going to make him, the spiritual. He's going to learn to, like Yoda did, to pass on after death. That's going to be his
But is that
story.
going to be, all of his episodes? What are they going to do?
They're
as
gonna
far as,
Hayden
filler
Christensen.
episodes?
Hayden Christensen is in the movie, so apparently it's gonna.
Is it the same guy, Ewan? Or
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor's back,
Yeah.
Okay.
so it's gonna feature Darth Vader or Anakin to some degree. So,
Our Lord and Savior.
all right. That all being said, it's 9:37. When do we start? Well, that's been an hour basically. We started at 8:30. I'm gonna have to go back through and at the start of the stream and probably trim the beginning, where we were like, oh, what the heck? Not working because the stupid browser was doing that. But yeah, this is Star Wars as of now. Apparently the same lady that directed the new Wonder Woman movie is directing Rogue Squadron's the new Star Wars movie. So a lot of people were excited about that, but not anymore.
Is that
because
with
Wonder
the
Woman
Bad
kinda
Batch? Or
flopped.
what is Rogue Squadron?
Rogue Squadron's a movie that has no trailer yet.
Oh.
So anyway, thank everybody for watching. If you have any disagreements, this stream will be up on the channel in 12 hours. That's how long it takes YouTube to process a stream for some reason. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. Thank non-like Sean for watching and commenting, and Piggy Productions. Shout out to them. So I'll check you guys out. And peace out, everybody. How do I end the stream? Bye. Your stream? Yes.